Tonight with Andrew Marr on LBC.
It's 6:50. The government's proposed animal welfare bill, an important promise in its 2019 election manifesto, which would have banned the export of live animals, clamped down on puppy farming and introduced new penalties for dog theft, is to be dropped. This is a U-turn which has infuriated animal rights protesters and is being opposed by some of Rishi Sunak's own MPs. Among them is Andrea Jenkyns, who was a junior minister under Liz Truss and is launching a petition to get the decision changed. And she's with me now. Angela, animal rights, Andrea, particularly the export of live animals, yes, I suppose, is a really emotive issue for a lot of people up and down the country. So why has the government dropped this, do you think?
Thank you, Andrew. I think the government's dropped it because they fear what the opposition are going to tag on as
Fox
amendments.
Hunting in particular.
Exactly. I think they think that that's going to, so to speak, make it difficult for the party. And my understanding is that there's some members of the cabinet who are pro-hunting, they are pro-shooting, so they've obviously had the ear of the Prime Minister.
So it's a reasonable worry, is it not, that this could create... You don't want the sort of anti and pro-hunting protesters clashing outside Parliament. I'm long enough in the tooth to remember the old days of the Countryside Alliance versus the sort of SABs outside Westminster.
Yes.
And I can see why, if you're Rishi Sunak, you wouldn't necessarily wish that to happen just before a general election.
I completely understand that, Andrew. But, I mean, these topics, as you've already described, they're very benign. I mean, puppy smuggling, make sure we don't import dogs who's got docked ears. So it's very benign. And this is another manifesto commitment that we're dropping. And the line saying that there's not enough parliamentary time, it's nonsense. I mean, look, yesterday was on a one-line whip. I was in my constituency. We finished at 3 o'clock today.
Nothing is happening in Parliament
exactly.
at the moment. It's extraordinary. No,
we finished at 3. We could have got it done today.
Yeah, I know there's a strange vacancy where there used to be a busy Parliament at the moment. But puppy farming, for instance, this is presumably something that's become more serious since the pandemic. Lots of people we know rushed out to buy puppies immediately after the pandemic.
And prior to that, even when we was in the EU, because on one driving licence you could bring 5 puppies each across in a van. I mean, what spiked my interest about 10 years ago, I unwittingly got my puppy at the time from a puppy farm in Lincolnshire, not realise it's a puppy farm. And you find that these poor animals, they have so many diseases, some are dying while the puppies, and, we should have brought this legislation through.